In this video, we're going to talk about how to use the Amazon Shipment RFQ, or Request for Quote form. If you've read our blog post on the subject, I created this specifically to streamline the process for quotes. Sometimes you will miss data that is very much needed by your freight forwarder in order to execute the quote, and that gets rather time consuming going back and forth, especially with the time differences sometimes. So one of the things that we want to do is to streamline this process, because adding time to shipping causes you to potentially miss out on getting your shipment onto the boat on time, which can delay your shipment for a week or more. All right, so to go through this, the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go up to File and then make a copy of your own or download the template. This is because you will be given the view-only version of this form. Now, the next thing to know about this particular document is that the shipping agent should be filling out the purple section, and you should be filling out these other sections here. And all of the sections that are yellow are formulas that are automatically calculated based on the information that is put in. You'll see that there is one shipment here and there is another shipment here. If you have multiple shipments, you can add to it or you can create multiple copies. I recommend that you have a template copy, and then every time you create a new RFQ to send to your freight forwarder, I recommend that you go ahead and make a new copy and change the date up here so that every single document has the correct date on it. All right, so let's just go through this very simply. So this quote is from, so we would go quote from, and your shipping agent's name goes here, representative, whoever you're dealing with, and then the email of the shipping agent you're working with. Then they would put in here all of the information. So this information will be entered last. The information that you want to put in first is all of your information. And some of this information can be saved in your template because it's information that won't necessarily change. For example, if you have particular HTS codes for particular products, those would not change. So it would be good to have those as a reference. All right, you would delete this example. Right, this first one is just an example, so you would delete these examples, and then you would start filling out the information. So your origin address, this is the address of your supplier or wherever your inventory is going to be picked up from. Then the destination address or your FBA warehouse code, and you're simply writing over this. So if you were to fill this out, you would overwrite this information right here, this italicized information. Then destination details. So destination details would be things like, is it going to a warehouse? Is it a commercial or residential address? Is it equipped with unloading facilities? This will affect the quote. If you don't let them know, if you don't let your supplier know or your freight forwarder know that this is shipping to a residential address, that could incur additional costs or it could change the way that they ship it. Then your shipping terms. These are terms that you should be able to get from your supplier. Your cargo ready date. Your cargo ready date, when will it be available to ship? Again, that information should come from your supplier. Mode of transport, are you sending it by air, express, ocean, ground? What PO number you're using? And then in here, this is all the product information, product name, and the product identifier. So this product identifier is going to be a link, a picture or a link to your product page on Amazon. Then any product ID that you're using, the description of the product, so the materials, what the product is made out of, the application, etc. And then your HTS codes, those you should be able to get from your freight forwarder or your supplier, or if you already have it on hand yourself. And then your carton length, width, height, weight, units per carton. It is important to get this data right, as this is going to be the basis for the quote. So you want to double check all of this. And then you should have your total units. Your total units divided by your total cartons is going to add up to your total units divided by your units per carton will turn into the number of cartons. So it'll do the math for you. Your CBM, your cubic meters, will be done for you, and all of this information will be done for you. If you need to add additional products because you have more than 5 products in this shipment, you can add them here as well. You can add additional lines. If you have multiple shipments, for example, this one's going by ocean and this one's going by sea, you'll want to include those as well. And then send this to your freight forwarder, and your freight forwarder will then come in and enter all of this information. Your freight forwarder will enter the freight cost per kilogram, any duties and fees, customs entry fee, dock fee, handling fee, any information on the target sale date or the ship date, the transit time, right? We want to know how long it's going to take in days from the time that it sails to the time that it arrives. Date the cargo must be at the port or the warehouse. Estimated arrive. So this date that the cargo must be at the port or the warehouse, that means how many days or on which date are you planning on sailing. So that is tied to the departure date. Estimated arrival date to final destination. When is it going to arrive at the final destination, not at the port, but the final destination. And then the quote is valid through what time. And any notes can go here. The origin port can go here, the destination port, all shipping methods. So this would be that it starts on ocean, it goes to the train, and then it goes to ground, and then it arrives at your 3PL. Any notes can go here. This information is helpful, the all shipping methods. It starts to get helpful as you will start to be able to learn more about the shipping process, which I think is extremely important. And then lastly, any special notes or instructions. So your quotes will come here, and this will be then sent back to you by your freight forwarder. This process should help you to streamline things and make it a lot easier for you to communicate with your freight forwarder. If your freight forwarder has any recommendations on improving your template, go ahead and do so, and then also send us an email at helpme@sostock.com and let us know. We would be happy to get that feedback and to update our future templates to accommodate that.